không mang lộ nè.
A single, ancient brushstroke appears on screen, then dissolves into a rapid montage of contemporary anxieties. A person staring at a glowing smartphone screen, a crowded subway car, a stressed executive in a glass office. We live in a world of constant connection, yet profound isolation. A world of unprecedented progress, yet pervasive anxiety. Every day, headlines scream of discord, division, and a relentless pressure to perform. But what if the solutions to our most pressing modern problems aren't found in the latest app or self-help guru, but in wisdom forged over 2.5 millennia ago? What if the path to inner peace, harmonious relationships, and a truly ethical life lies within the teachings of a man who walked the earth before empires rose and fell? A man whose influence has shaped the lives of over 1 billion people for 2,500 years. To comprehend the China of today, and indeed to truly understand ourselves, it is essential to comprehend Confucius. This film will journey between the tumultuous past of ancient China and the complex present, revealing how timeless wisdom can illuminate our modern dilemmas. Sound of a traditional Gucci melody begins, subtle and contemplative. The spring and autumn period, roughly 771 to 476 BCE, was an age of profound upheaval in what is now modern-day China. Regional lords, once vassals of the Zhou dynasty, now waged incessant war, carving up the land into ever-shifting territories. Imagine a landscape fractured by ambition, where alliances were fleeting and the common people suffered under the boot of warring states. The air was thick with the dust of marching armies and the smoke of burning villages. It was a time when the old order had collapsed, and a new one had yet to emerge, a period of moral decay and social fragmentation. Amidst this chaos, in BCE, in the small state of Lu, in what is now Shandong province, a child named Confucius was born. Legend says his birth was heralded by mythical beasts, a killin appearing to his pregnant mother, a sign of his future greatness. More prosaically, his early life was marked by poverty and the loss of his father at a young age. He was raised by his mother, a woman of strength and intellect, who instilled in him a deep respect for ritual and learning. He undertook various humble occupations in his youth: a granary manager, a superintendent of fields, experiences that grounded him in the realities of common life. Sound of distant thunder, then the gentle patter of rain. But Confucius harbored a grander ambition: to restore order and harmony to a fractured world. His first major turning point came not from success, but from a profound humiliation. After years of diligent study and self-cultivation, he secured a minor official position in Lu. He believed he could implement his vision of virtuous governance. But the political machinations and petty jealousies of the court proved too formidable. He was effectively sidelined, his ideas dismissed, a bitter pill for a man convinced he held the key to societal salvation. This public rejection, however, rather than breaking him, hardened his resolve, turning his focus from direct political power to the power of education. His second dramatic shift came with the death of his mother, a loss that plunged him into deep mourning, adhering to the traditional 3-year period of filial piety. This intense period of reflection solidified his understanding of the importance of family, ritual, and the emotional bonds that hold society together. It was a personal sorrow that reinforced his philosophy, transforming abstract concepts into lived experience. He emerged from this period not as a politician, but as a teacher, dedicating his life to cultivating a new generation of virtuous leaders. Sound of footsteps on a dusty road. then the murmur of voices in an open-air market. Confucius then embarked on a 13-year journey across various states. An arduous, itinerant life, he sought to advise rulers, offering his counsel on governance and moral conduct, often facing skepticism and rejection. His travels took him first to the state of Wei, a prosperous but politically unstable region. Here, he observed the capriciousness of power, the fleeting nature of alliances, and the moral compromises made by those in authority. He taught his disciples in humble settings, under trees, in temporary lodgings, emphasizing the practical application of virtue. Next, his journey led him to the state of Chen, a smaller, more vulnerable state, caught between larger powers. Here, he and his disciples faced genuine hardship, even starvation, as they were sometimes mistaken for spies or simply shunned for their unwavering moral stance. It was a period of intense testing, where their commitment to his teachings was forged in adversity. He taught them resilience and the importance of maintaining one's integrity even in the face of suffering. Finally, he journeyed to the state of Sai, another region plagued by internal strife. He witnessed firsthand the devastating effects of unbridled ambition and the neglect of the common people. Throughout these travels, his message remained consistent. A ruler's legitimacy stemmed from his moral character and his ability to govern with benevolence. He was a man out of time in many ways, an idealist in a realist's world. Yet his unwavering commitment to his principles laid the groundwork for a philosophical tradition that would endure for millennia. Sound of a gentle stream, then a distant, almost ethereal chime. So, what are these core teachings that remain so potent today? Let's explore 5 key concepts, not as abstract theories, but as practical tools for navigating modern problems. The first is perhaps the most fundamental: Ren. This character, composed of the radical 4-person and 2, signifies humanity, benevolence, or humaneness. It's the ideal state of being for an individual in relation to others, emphasizing empathy and compassion. Consider the problem of social isolation and the breakdown of community in our hyper-individualized world. We are connected digitally, yet often feel disconnected emotionally. Ren offers a solution. It asks us to genuinely care for others, to not do to others what you would not want done to yourself. Imagine a bustling tech startup where competition often breeds distrust. Dr. Li Wei, a professor of organizational psychology at Peking University, notes, in many modern workplaces, efficiency is prioritized over human connection, but a company that fosters Ren, where colleagues genuinely support each other's well-being and growth, will ultimately be more innovative and resilient. It's about building a human-centric culture, not just a profit-centric one. A contemporary example is the rise of co-working spaces emphasizing community events and shared values, a modern echo of Confucian communal living. However, critics argue that in a globalized, competitive economy, prioritizing Ren might lead to a perceived lack of ruthless efficiency. Confucius would counter that true efficiency stems from a harmonious, motivated workforce, not from cutthroat tactics that breed resentment and instability. The second concept is Li. This refers to propriety, ritual, or etiquette. It encompasses a vast array of social norms, ceremonies, and appropriate behaviors that structure human interaction. In an age of casualness and blurred boundaries, Li provides a framework for respect and order. Think about the pervasive issue of incivility, online and offline. The constant barrage of negativity, the lack of decorum in public discourse, Li offers a remedy. It teaches us how to act with dignity and respect in every interaction, from formal ceremonies to everyday greetings. Professor Sarah Chen, a cultural anthropologist at the University of California, Berkeley, emphasizes Li isn't about rigid rules for their own sake. It's about creating a shared language of respect. In a diverse global society, understanding and respecting different forms of Li is crucial for preventing misunderstandings and fostering cross-cultural understanding. It's the grease that allows the gears of society to turn smoothly. Consider a young professional navigating a corporate environment, mastering the subtle nuances of professional etiquette, how to address superiors, how to conduct oneself in meetings is a practical application of Li that can profoundly impact career progression and team dynamics. Yet, some might see Li as stifling individuality or promoting conformity. Confucius would argue that true freedom flourishes within a framework of order. Much like a musician can only express creativity through mastering the rules of harmony. Sound of a gentle, melodic chime, then the rustle of leaves. Our third vital teaching is Yi, often translated as righteousness or moral appropriateness. It's about doing the right thing, not because of external pressure or personal gain, but because it is inherently good and aligns with one's moral compass. It's the internal compass that guides ethical decision-making. Consider the ethical dilemmas posed by rapidly advancing technology, from artificial intelligence to genetic engineering. How do we ensure these powerful tools are used for the good of humanity? Yi provides a moral anchor. It challenges us to always consider the ethical implications of our actions and choices, even when no one is watching. Mr. Kinji Tanaka, a startup founder in Tokyo, specializing in ethical AI, states, "In the tech world, speed often trumps ethics. But our company was built on the principle of Yi. We constantly ask, is this product truly beneficial? Does it respect user privacy? It's not always the fastest path, but it builds trust and creates sustainable value." The concept resonates in modern corporate social responsibility initiatives, where companies increasingly prioritize ethical sourcing and fair labor practices, moving beyond mere compliance to a deeper sense of moral obligation. However, some might argue that Yi can be subjective, leading to different interpretations of what is right. Confucius emphasized that Yi is cultivated through consistent self-reflection and learning, and is ultimately guided by Ren. The fourth concept, Zhi, refers to wisdom or knowledge, but it's not just about intellectual prowess. It encompasses practical wisdom, the ability to discern, to understand human nature, and to apply knowledge effectively. In an age of information overload and fake news, discerning truth from falsehood and applying knowledge for genuine understanding is a critical skill. Z is about critical thinking, about learning actively, and about understanding the consequences of one's actions. Think about the challenge of navigating a complex financial decision or a difficult personal relationship. Z encourages us to seek knowledge, to learn from experience, and to make informed choices. Dr. Anya Sharma, an educational psychologist in Mumbai, observes, "In our education system, we often prioritize rote learning over true understanding." But Confucian Z encourages lifelong learning, critical inquiry, and the application of knowledge to real-world problems. It's about cultivating a mind that can adapt and grow. The modern emphasis on lifelong learning, upskilling, and critical media literacy are direct echoes of Z. Yet, some may find the pursuit of Z endless, leading to analysis paralysis. Confucius would advocate for practical wisdom, learning that leads to action and improvement, not just accumulation. Sound of a single, resonant bell, then silence. Finally, the concept of Junzi Kungshi, the noble person or exemplary individual. This is not a title of nobility by birth, but a moral ideal achieved through continuous self-cultivation. The Junzi embodies Ren, practices Li, acts with Yi, and possesses Yi. They are a role model, a person of integrity, wisdom, and compassion, who strives for moral perfection. In a world often dominated by celebrity culture and fleeting trends, the Junzi offers a powerful alternative, a focus on character and inner worth. Consider the pervasive desire for external validation, the pressure to conform, or the struggle to find authentic leadership. The Junzi provides a blueprint for self-mastery and ethical leadership. They are not defined by wealth or power, but by their moral uprightness and their commitment to others. The Junzi is not a mythical figure, says Mr. David Wong, a community organizer in Vancouver. They are the everyday heroes who quietly lead by example, who prioritize integrity over expediency, and who inspire others through their actions. We need more Junzi in our communities, in our politics, in every aspect of our lives. The modern emphasis on servant leadership and ethical governance aligns perfectly with the ideal of the Junzi. However, some might view the Junzi as an unattainable ideal, leading to feelings of inadequacy. Confucius emphasized that the journey towards becoming a Junzi is a lifelong process, a continuous striving for improvement, making it an accessible aspiration for everyone. Sound of festive music, a blend of traditional Chinese instruments and contemporary beats. The legacy of Confucius is not confined to ancient texts or academic debates. It is alive and vibrant in modern China and beyond. Every year, on September 28th, Confucius's birthday is celebrated with grand ceremonies at temples dedicated to him across China, most notably at his ancestral home in Khufu. Imagine the air, thick with incense, the rhythmic beating of drums, and the solemn chanting of ancient rituals. As people gather to pay homage to the grand sage, it's a sensory experience that connects the past with the present, a living tradition that reinforces core values of respect, learning, and community. Beyond the rituals, Confucian thought continues to influence public policy, education, and social norms. The proliferation of Confucius institutes globally, with hundreds established in universities worldwide, reflects a concerted effort to promote Chinese language and culture, but also subtly disseminates Confucian values of harmony, respect, and learning. These institutions, alongside various educational initiatives in China, are rekindling interest in classical texts and moral philosophy among younger generations. Statistics show a growing number of university students opting for courses in traditional Chinese thought, seeking answers to modern dilemmas within ancient wisdom. Sound of a soft, reflective melody, then a distant, almost ethereal chime. From the chaos of warring states to the complexities of the digital age, Confucius's teachings offer a profound and practical path. We began by asking how to navigate our modern problems, and the answer, surprisingly, lies in looking inward and outward with a renewed sense of purpose. The ancient brushstroke that opened our journey, once a symbol of a distant past, now represents the continuous strokes we each make in shaping our character and our world. Just as Confucius sought to restore harmony to his fractured society, his wisdom empowers us to cultivate harmony within ourselves. in our relationships, and in our communities. As we face the uncertainties of tomorrow, perhaps the deepest wisdom is to remember that the greatest journey begins not with a single step, but with a cultivated heart. What kind of person will you strive to be in a world that so desperately needs the virtues of Ren, Li, Yi, and Zi?